look, I'm Tank. This is Bob Noxious, and we're here for Cincinnati Roller Girls versus Brew City Bruisers. If you're not awake, get awake, man, because this is going to be a fantastic matchup between two North Central rivals.
Yeah, and the great thing is these are two teams that had a knockdown, drag-out brawl at the North Centrals last year. They don't really care for each other on the track.
No, that game was a barn burner. The first half, the barn got burnt down. During the halftime, some nice Amishmen came, rebuilt the barn, and then they burned it down again in the second half. It was awesome.
Yeah. And Milwaukee, again this year, like last, they want to come away with a win, Tank, but at the same time, you know, last year they were so close. I think they must have had 3 games and lost by no more than about 10 points. And this year, they've hung in the first 2 games that they've played. They have not won, and they're hungry for a win right now.
Yeah, it's been a rough road for both these teams this year. They had more success in 2010, 2011. Brought some roadblocks on the road up. And right now, they're fighting out for the 7th place in North Central. Both teams want this W. You got to go with something positive into the off season. So they're both really wanting to take home this victory here today. They're going to fight tooth and nail for it.
Yeah, and on a personal note, I mean, I'm really excited. This is the first weekend that I've had the chance to work with the Brew City Bruisers. I'm going to start working in the venue live this winter. Mm-hmm. So Brew City, Milwaukee, a great, as is Cincinnati, roller derby town. And I'm really fired up about that move.
And personal time real quick, missing Gloria Hole here this weekend. Hun, love you. Hope you're having a good time at home watching this here on WFTDA.com. Well, now that we got all the pleasantries out of the way and all of the talk and the build-up and the story, it's time for roller derby, my friend.
And I tell you what, while they're doing equipment checks, I'm going to go ahead and run through the Milwaukee All-Stars for you. And for the Brew City Bruisers, we have number 0, which is Bloody Cupcake, one of my favorite snacks. Number 02, Serving Justice. Number 1 KCC is Scooter. Number 14 is Strike Her. Number 216 is Frank Hurt Her. Number 24, and a personal favorite, Carrie A. Hacksaw. Number 30 is Romaniac. 31, M. Fatale. 425, Betty Clobber. 60, High D Voltage. 68, Moby Nips. 716, Zote. 78, Rejected Soul. And number 8, Carabunga.
Cincinnati today we'll have on the floor number 11 Skater Kinney, 13 Mamie, 18 K Lethal, 19 Barracuda, 21 June with the Cleaver, 29 Ruffin the Passer, 30 Kitten Kicker, 32 Candy Kickass, 33 Buckhead Betty, 43 Wheezy, 44 Murder Her, 77 Pintapanga, 85 Hannah Alcho Cinco, and 86 Newcomb. And here we go, Carrie Hacksaw starting out for Brew City.
And Kay Lethal out there for Cincinnati. And Carrie Hacksaw going to find herself with a wide open inside lane. Tank, she's going to be your lead jammer.
That's right. She found the inside lane. Carrie Hacksaw has had a good weekend this weekend, performing at a high level. She's going to come back on the back of the pack. Kay Lethal is yet to break, still trying to get through that wall of gold up front. And here comes Carrie Hacksaw.
Yeah, Carrie Hacksaw coming through towards the back. Right now she's behind Kay Lethal, just about to pass her. And she's going to get the grand slam. Kay Lethal still not out of the pack yet, Tank.
That's right. She's still stuck in there, and she's one of their better jammers this week. And now you see Cincinnati grabbing a goat and serving Justice, and they're trying to get the pack to split.
And we're going to see Kay Lethal finally get through the pack, able to go on to a scoring run. Carrie Hacksaw on her 3rd scoring run, I believe it is. She's going to call the jam off. If there has been a single standout jammer, and there's maybe been just a few. We haven't seen a lot of we've seen a lot of great team performances, not a lot of individual performances, but Kay Lethal certainly had one yesterday.
Oh, yeah, she's money every time she steps out there. Hannah Alcho Cinco right now, and she's going to be taking on Scooter.
And Scooter, who really kind of struggled in the first bout, had a really nice second bout yesterday, has worked herself up to Buckhead Betty, and she gets around her. She's going to be the lead jammer. Not an easy job, is that, Tank?
Oh, no, definitely not. And right there you can see Betty Clobber knocking down Hannah Alcho Cinco. That's a horrible alarm clock to wake up to in the morning.
Yes, it is.
Wake up, bam!
And Scooter trying to work herself back through the pack on her first scoring pass. And nice 2-wall up front as Cincinnati runs all the time. and she's going to try and wedge herself through Buckhead Betty, and they're going to get the 20-foot zone of engagement call there, Tank.
That's what they're doing. And right now, Moby Nips is all over Hannah Ochocinco, and she is stuck. Now Hannah going inside gets knocked out. Great wall work so far by Brew City in this one, and there's another score.
And so we've got 2 grand slams for Scooter. And Hannah Ochocinco, with an effective day yesterday, has not made her initial pass at this point.
Hannah can run hot and cold. Yesterday she was running way hot in that Ohio game, getting lead jammer. Today, though, she's cold. Inside line, she's through. But Brew City has racked up a lot of damage so far in these first 2 jams.
And there we have it. The jam is over with. And we have a score currently of 23-0 in favor of the Brew City Bruisers. 26:47 left. And with that, let's thank Dr. Hauschka. Dr. Hauschka celebrates the fresh faces of the WFTDA. And God knows I'm not one of them, Tank, am I?
You're definitely not, sir.
And lined up this time around, we have for Milwaukee, that's going to be Zote.
Taking on Wheezy right there. Wheezy was out of the game yesterday. The first game of the day against Ohio, she was sick. Came back in and played the second game against Arch Rival in the afternoon. So she's not 100%, but she's out there, and she didn't have a bad game against Arch Rival. She can still go even when she's not 100%. But right now, Zote, lead jammer, and I'll tell you who's 100%, Brew City Bruisers right now, 3 lead jams in a row.
Yeah, you're right. And that was a nice job up front by Servin Justice and Romaniac. The 2 walls, they opened it up just at the right time as she came up the center. We're able to get her through. And once again, we're looking at a Cincinnati jammer who is stuck in the pack.
Newcomb right there with a huge sheriff just opened up Zote, and it was all legal. No call right there by the referees. Huge hit.
And Wheezy's going to get out of the pack. Zote calling the jam off a little on the early side. She probably had 3/4 of a track, thought she would have taken another scoring pass or given it a shot. And she's going to stop play. Score 27-0 in favor of Brew City.
Yeah, right now Cincinnati getting shut out, and they're wanting to preserve that on the Brew City side.
And we want to give another shout out here. We want to say thank you to Elemental Technologies, the world's most powerful video processing solutions.
Cincinnati starting out by taking a knee. Got to let him go. Stryker going to try to bulldoze her way through that 2 wall in front of her that Cincinnati has set up. Kay Lethal now looking outside. There's a gold wall. Stryker goes inside lane, gets bumped out. Now Kay Lethal around the outside, 3-woman wall, and she gets stopped.
Oh! And she gets hit just at the very last moment by Moby Nips. Drives her to the inside where she falls over, and she's got to re-enter toward the back of the pack. In the meantime, Stryker is out of the pack, but she is not lead jammer.
Yep, rejected soul right there to make the stop, and that meant that Kay Lethal couldn't get through. 0-0 on that run.
And I tell you, Stryker may go when Stryker goes out there and jams. It might not be pretty, but it's been darn effective all weekend long. Every time that seems Milwaukee has needed a boost, they have put her in there, and she has come through lead jam and often put points on the board. And, of course, right now we're going to see a very veteran skater in Carrie A. Hacksaw up against Newcomb.
Newcomb plays both in the pack and on the jammer line. I'm thinking the Cincinnati coaches are saying, let's put somebody else out there and see what they can do. And Nuke right now kind of holding up that wall as she wedges herself up there. Kuda getting sent to the box, but that allows Newcomb to get sprung, and this pack is spread out.
Yeah, I believe she got a clockwise block call.
Well, Carrie Hacksaw now stuck in there by the defense of the Cincinnati Roller Girls. Buckhead Betty has been playing lights out all weekend long.
Oh, my God. You're not kidding. And Newcomb is your lead jammer. She's in the process of coming up on her scoring run. Carrie A. Hacksaw finally able to get around Buckhead Betty.
Newcomb put Cincinnati on the board with 4.
And when you talk about playing both the jammer and the blocker position, Carrie A. Hacksaw definitely getting many more rotations this weekend than she normally would. Brew City Bruisers, young new jammer Skittle, injured. I think that made a big difference in their jammer rotation. Carrie, who is an excellent jammer, but generally used as a blocker, pulling heavy rotations all weekend long. And we're going to see Scooter. And who's she up against there, Tank?
That's Wheezy. Wheezy just getting taken off her feet in the first corner. Lead jammer going to Brew City.
And Scooter's going to be out in front. She gets through that pack pretty uninhibited. She's going to be your lead jammer.
Wheezy now through, but this means Brew City's going to be the first to strike. Coming in inside line, hot and heavy. 2-wall, going to try to slide bash to Pintapanga up there. Anga trying to get to it. Steps down in front, and Anga holding her in. Now trying to bump her inside. That's going to be a cut if she comes back in front of her.
That was a great play.
Smart move there by Scooter. She knew where her feet was. She knew she went in. She knew if she came back on, she was going to get the cut, called it off. That's how you use lead jammer advantage.
But Pintapanga really gets a hold of her at the very last moment she's going to be able to force that jam to be called off.
Zote backing off the line. K Lethal right up on the line. Cincinnati establishing the back wall on the jammer line. Jam after jam in this one.
And it breaks into a scrum. I don't know much about rugby, do you?
I know that guys who play it drink a lot of pints and they will smash you in the face.
I like half of that equation.
Yeah, I know, right? Here we go. K Lethal through. Lead jammer.
And what we've expected and been waiting for, that is K Lethal to get through that pack first. In the meantime, Zote is going to clear just as we speak. And K Lethal with a scoring pass. She's going to call off the jam, take the 4 points.
She's got it.
And of course, we want to thank a few of our sponsors, one of them being Erie Insurance. Erie Insurance keeps you covered with seriously good insurance.
Newcomb coming to the line right now. Going to be taking on Striker right here. Hannah Ochocinco in the pack. You don't normally see that. It looks like her and Newcomb have kind of traded around today. Normally you see Hannah on the line and Newcomb in the pack, and now you're seeing the reverse of that. Newcomb says take a knee, and this is going to start it. Striker trying to surge up through. Beats everybody. Hannah Ochocinco, the safety valve, stops her. And now Newcomb looks outside, inside. Buckhead Betty's going to try to peel him off. Lead jammer Newcomb.
Nice job by Newcomb there, too. And Buckhead Betty holding things up, opening the door for her to let her get through. Striker having taken a shot early on in that first turn. And we've got Rejected Soul turns around to pick up something. I'm not sure what it was that was laying on the track. Oh my God, it's like NASCAR. There was debris.
It was like NASCAR, except people don't have really cool sunglasses.
Yeah.
God, those guys have great
And
fashion.
headsets, except for us.
And headsets.
Because we're cool.
We got headsets.
Yeah.
Wheezy, Gary Hacksaw on the line against each other. Well, this is the game where the jammer line has become the new pivot line because everybody's lining up on it.
And they're going to let everybody go. Once again, it's going to be kind of a scratch claw. You know, right there, I think you need a tire iron just to open up a crease somewhere.
Well, they're trying to figure it out right now. As both trying to wedge their way through. And Ruffin going on the inside. Pintapanga going to go around. Carrie Hacksaw gets the jump. Serving Justice comes down on the back of Wheezy.
Serving Justice takes Ruffin the passer out of the equation on the blocking and then turns around and gets a hold of Wheezy jamming. Fantastic move by Serving Justice. And Carrie Hacksaw, your lead jammer, looking on her first scoring pass.
Brew City connecting the walls together right now, shrinking this pack. Outside goes Carrie. Carrie now middle. Carrie outside behind June, ducks in by, through.
And Carrie Hacksaw with such tremendous footwork, especially her ability to move laterally. There aren't many girls that move as well as she does.
Woman has footwork that would make Fred Astaire proud, and right now she steps in and calls it.
I remember a friend of ours that had a Fred Astaire studio.
I do too. Voice, good guy. And it looks like we're going to be taking this one to 10-36. No power jam so far in this one. That could make the big swing of momentum for either of these teams.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Tank. Not that I wouldn't think you would be.
About 95% of the time.
Okay. Those are good odds.
Scooter back up behind K Lethal. The line's lined up on the line right now. Double whistle sends him. Scooter going inside. She's past everybody. Murder Her there to stop her.
Yep. And she's going to get by Murder, and she's going to be out front. She's going to be your lead jammer. And as we've seen this tactic used all weekend, Tank, it seems like whoever gets themselves positioned to get around one side or the other is the one that always wins this thing.
Remember the thing I said about power jams? It just happened. As K Lethal goes to the box, now Brew City's going to slow this thing down. Swing rack on the side saying, slow it down, slow it down. Brew City looking to take advantage.
And we'll see what Brew City can do. Having seen them recently, they have not always done a great job in this scenario in maximizing the kind of points that they could get out of it. She's got one run through.
They trap Candy Kickass on the back end. Candy stuck behind the wall of gold. Now, Brew City losing players to the box. Big takeout right there by Murder Her. Murder Her stepping in front again.
Yeah, right now Scooter really in a kind of in a bind because between being hit by players from Cincinnati, she's also trying to get around her own fallen players. And guess who comes out of the box? That's going to be K Lethal.
K Lethal back out, but Brew City able to extend the lead right there with the power jam.
But they get one pass out of it, and that is all they're able to do. And as I take a look at everybody that we would like to thank, let's say thank you to Green Monster Roller Sports, who have been supportive of all of the Big Five action. We want to talk about their antique boots, Reckless Wheels, and Moto Bearings, revolutionizing roller derby.
Both these teams right now talking things over. Cincinnati got to change up strategy. Brew City's got to keep doing what they're doing. If you want to talk to us via Twitter. Talk to WFTDA.com. I have Brew City fans blowing up my Twitter right now. Not a username who's right in saying, what'd you say about Power Jams? I said what I said. Power Jams, they affect the game. Brew City got one. Cincinnati needs one.
Yeah. And be there in January, darn it.
What's happening in January?
We open our season.
We open the season up?
Yeah.
We open up, I think. I got the schedule card in the pocket. I believe February we're going up. We're playing on the road in February. In March or April, we're opening up at home.
Yeah, Milwaukee will open their league play in January. I believe that runs through May. And right now, Zote out there for Milwaukee. And she is trying her darndest to find some space to work with out there. Buckhead Betty, there's a surprise, creating lots of problems. But she's able to get around Buckhead Betty, and Zote is going to be the first jammer out of the pack. However, it is going to be Ocho Cinco who is going to be your lead jammer. She calls it off.
Yep, right there. Smart move by Newcomb, calling the jam. Make sure everything's solid.
Oh, my apology. I look at the number, and I think the name.
It's close, 85 and 86.
I know.
Separated by one. And you know announcers and math.
Well, and we know sports, and we love sports.
Remember I said a minute ago the season opener, and March 10th is when it opens for Cincinnati at home in 2012. March 10th, 31st, April 21st, May 19th, and June 9th. And here we go back to action. Newcomb jamming again.
Against Stryker. And Newcomb, nice job, man. She gets to that inside, takes advantage of the fact that there's a couple of Brew City blockers missing, and she just kind of wedges herself in there a little bit, and with her speed, she's able to get through there fairly quickly.
Wall up, wall gone. She's out. Newcomb coming back in. Newcomb's at least got one so far on this run. Going to come in the back of the pack, go sideways.
Oh, and she takes a shot. That's number 425, Betty Clobber, living up to her name.
0-0 there on the run. Did not get the point. Wheezy versus Carrier Hacksaw. Checking it out right now. 44-10 is your score. Brew City up. 14 minutes left to go in this one. If we were judging this thing like a boxing match, I would say I would give right now a 10-8 round to Brew City. They're controlling the action.
But both of these teams known to have runs and collapses. And Carrier Hacksaw right there, she's going to use that body fake, almost gets away with it. Somebody recycles up through the inside, gives her a nice shot.
Roughing the passer right there on the shot. Roughing all over on this jam, looking motivated. Now Skater Kinney steps down. Great body work there by Carrier Hacksaw.
Yes.
She absorbed that check, did not move her feet, stood up.
Yeah, she's so good at that. Very difficult to upend.
For sure. Skater Kinney now going to the box. It's going to leave us 2-on-2 out here. Buckhead, nice bump out by Buckhead. Carrie's got to come back in behind. And, calls off the jam before Weezy can get there.
And it's going to be donuts. With the 4 whistles, I wasn't quite sure she had gotten it in time, but she does.
Donuts.
Special donuts.
You don't eat the last piece of the special donut. If The Simpsons has taught us anything.
That's right.
You got to leave it in the fridge, Homer.
That's right. It's only appropriate for our environment.
Scooter on the line. Hannah Alcho Cinco behind her. Scooter just goes outside.
My.
There was nobody there.
It was kind of like inside check, middle check. Yeah, well, how about the outside? Oh, too late. She's gone.
That door was wide open.
Yep.
Moby Nips now all over Hannah Alcho Cinco. Alcho Aroundo. And it looks like back in the pack we go with Scooter. Mamie up on the front end. Mamie's got her contained.
Scooter doing a nice job. Looking like she might get stuck get knocked into that inside line. Shows that she's got a little of that Wallenda gene pool in her. Tight ropes that bad boy and is able to pull up to finish that run and call off the jam.
Kay Lethal checking back into the line. Going to be taking on number 716. And who's this jam brought to us by, Bob Noxious?
This jam is going to be brought to us by Fast Girl Skates. Fast Girl Skates is the industry pioneer in boot sizing and configuration for women's feet.
Zote up and around Barracuda. And she is through lead.
And Zote, probably the most successful of the Brew City Bruisers jammers with that lineup on the pit. And look at that. Brew City totally sealed Cincinnati to the outside of turns 3 and 4. Zote, you know what? I might have been able to run through there. That's how big that hole was. I said might.
You running.
Okay, 10% chance?
Yeah, okay.
All right, okay.
A brisk jog.
which ends with defibrillator, more than likely.
Clear. Stryker on the line, taking on Newcomb again. Stryker having success so far in this game. Buckhead Betty roughing Buckhead Betty.
Buckhead Betty has probably impressed me as much as anybody in this entire tournament.
Skater Kinney off and hurt. Skater Kinney taking herself to the outside lane, and she is breathing right now. Outside pack ref checked on her. She said she was okay. EMT's immediately rushing over to her. Jam is called 0-0.
Stryker got through second. She was the lead jammer, however. She's able to call it off before there was any scoring. And they are calling for the EMT crew. I didn't realize that she had ended up that far outside of bounds.
Well, she started out there in the rough lane. She got popped, and then Skater Kinney pulled herself out to the off the track. She wanted to let the jam keep going. She didn't want it to be stopped because of her. They're checking her out right now. They have like a small hospital over there checking on her.
Yeah.
You got the helmet off. They got her
look
up.
at that. She gets right up. She's tough.
Oh.
And Tank, she is one of the original Cincinnati Roller Girls, am I right?
Yes, Kenny's been around forever and a day. She's up, she's conscious, talking, a little dinged up, and she's walking off under her own power, skating off under her own power.
And so they get her off the track. She's all right. We understand that Rejected Soul, who's skating here today, apparently after collision in the Detroit game, was checked out. Went to the hospital Friday night. They checked her out. She was okay. And she's back this weekend.
Everybody lining back up on the line here. Wheezy going to be taking on number 24, Carrie Hacksaw.
And of course, Hacksaw, having started her first 4 years in Madison, maybe the most missed veteran skater to have ever skated with us and have moved on to a different league.
Well, you'll be having a reunion with her this January officially, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is cool, and Carrie's fantastic. She's always been one of my favorite people. To this day, she still holds the career points per jam record for the Mad Rollin' Dolls, and I think she's like number 2 in lead jam percentage.
Awesome, excellent stats to know. Yeah, a terrific player. She's been able to carry that level of success over from Madison to Milwaukee. Great player. Also, I like watching Brew City play. I really enjoy watching Heidi Voltage play. She's a terrific player. It's very nice to talk to off the track, both on and off. So excited, so happy.
Yeah, there's really never a time you don't see a smile on Heidi's face.
Speaking of smiles on face right now, Wheezy and Pitapanga getting down out there.
Yeah.
Murder her, not dancing. Murder her, not a dancer. Smash her, not a dancer.
Refs, we see them trying times. Looks more like a seizure.
Yeah, well, you know what I mean? You got a job where you're that serious all the time. Like, you know, occasionally you got to let your hair down.
Yeah, you know, you break loose, you forget how to do it. It comes back after a while.
Wheezy now going inside lane. Carrie going outside to get this thing restarted. Murder her, tries to stop her, can't stop her. Lead jammer, Carrie A. Hacksaw.
Yep, Carrie A. Hacksaw just found the path of least resistance, which is about all you can do in that scenario. We're going to have a tumble between Wheezy and Bloody Cupcake here in turn 3.
Yep. Cupcake went low with they got their legs crossed up right there. She's going to the box on the major. Wheezy not lead jammer. Carrie is lead jammer. Carrie trying to track down Wheezy to get another point.
And she's going to do. And Wheezy's lucky that's all that Carrie gave her, because she's certainly capable.
Carrie tapping the helmet, calling her own shot right there.
That's right, Tank. Why bring the whole toolbox when all you need is a hacksaw?
James called 3-0 on that run, plus the points from before.
Well, I tell you, both teams have such a tremendous blocking core that would scare the crap out of just about anybody.
Yeah, no doubt. Both these teams very solid. I mean, that's kind of the hallmark of the North Central is, you know, you want to come see people get hit in roller derby, you want to see people go fast, come to the North Central. That's what goes down around here. It's starting to branch out a little bit. You're starting to see, like, Naptown's really starting to bring in some of that West Coast flavor to the game, what they've studied online and what they've played. And you see Minnesota bringing in a real nice team aspect as well. But for the most part, it's a lot of heavy-hitting teams.
Yep.
That's what they hang their hats on.
You know what we need to do? We need to absorb Charm City.
They mix it up very nicely. I like what Charm brings to the table. Jam is called. Candy Kick-Ass does the chicken dance.
And let's say thank you one more time. And I tell you, Tank, let's say thank you to Sun King.
Sure.
Believe me, you want to drink Sun King. Handcrafted, award-winning beer, brewed in Indianapolis. And I think we could get you a number of testimonials on how good that is.
It's delicious. Zote on the line against Wheezy. Everybody taking a knee. Back wall. Servant Justice going out to the front. Bruce is like, what are we going to do to get this jam started? There we go.
Zote really has become such a strong jammer in this last year. And she's been so effective here again all weekend long. She's out in front. She's your lead jammer. And Tank, it looks like Wheezy's going to need a little help from her friends.
That's right. And she's not getting it right now. And now she's lapped as a point. That's 5 going up on the board for Zote and the Brew City Bruisers. Wheezy trapped right now. All 4 Brew City Bruiser blockers out there in front of her. 2 in the box right now for Cincinnati. More whistles blowing up, more people going to the box.
And yeah, that's right. And with 2 of the Cincinnati blockers who were on the track falling over each other, things opened up even a little bit more for Zote. And she's going to come through a 3-wall. That was a pretty strong collision. Looking to see what the call's going to be. Yep, I'm going to assume that she's going to get a back block call. Couldn't see the hand signal.
I would agree with that, sir. And right now, Cincinnati goes on the power jam. June with the Cleaver trying to break up the 3-wall up front that's been set up. They got 3 in the front, 1 in the back is Brew City. Outside, Wheezy going to be, as she steps in, it's going to be a cut, stays out, comes back in. 3-wall gets reset. Cincinnati grabbing a goat on the back end in the way of Romaniac.
Oh, Romaniac with a couple of nice moves. Looked like she was going to get out of it. And boy, I'll tell you, Tank, you and I have both done some coaching. And when you are the goat, you got to yell. And when she yelled, it was so loud, I thought she actually had hurt herself.
Refs right there trying to communicate. They were both calling equal packs right there, and then they finally figured out the back of the pack was where the pack was, and lots of yelling and screaming here today.
Yep. But in the end, it's going to be Wheezy with 5 points.
Wheezy gets the 5. Who's this jam we brought to us by?
This particular jam is brought to us by Derby for All. They are experienced derby skaters getting you the right gear to take you to the next level.
Kay Lethal going to try to go to the next level on this jam. Cincinnati going to start down on a knee, 3-2 advantage in the pack.
That was nice. You went to Segway school, didn't you?
Oh, I drive a Segway. Right now, Kay Lethal stays up.
Oh, nice.
Kay Lethal looking like she's waking up a little bit right now, going around the track like she do. And here we go, 3-2 in the pack, Cincinnati. Brew City doing the right thing. Moby Nips and Rejected Soul getting on the horse and riding right now, trying to get away.
Yeah, Brew City not pushing the speed so fast that they're looking for Cincinnati to recognize it and slow down, but fast enough that they're trying to trap the jammer, not going to be able to do it.
Barracuda helping out right there on Kay Lethal. Kay Lethal and Zote now in a foot race on skates. And Kay Lethal going to call that jam.
And for as talented as Kay Lethal is, and as easy as she makes it look, to see Zote right behind her gives you a lot of respect for how fast Zote really is.
Zote's got some nitrous in those skates,
yeah.
Man. Definitely. She's definitely got speed. Carrie Hacksaw coming to the jammer line. Candy Kickass going to join her. And everybody's all bunched up together. It looks like an elevator out there.
We've got, it's a mosh pit gone bad.
It's like a mosh pit at a Kenny G concert. Nobody's really moshing. They're just all wedged together.
And not a common event, but nonetheless held in Paducah on a regular basis.
And we only have 1 in the box.
How much Paducah hate mail are we getting?
And Brew City takes a knee. No pack signal. And here we go. Carrie Hacksaw opens it.
Look at that.
Carrie Hacksaw was like, hey, it looks like your sternum needs my shoulder in it. And she did, and that was smart on her part.
It was smart on her part, but unfortunately, as she steps forward, it's a flying Superman with a seat grab and a knack-knack, and she's down on the floor. And she's going to get passed up, and your lead jammer is going to be number 32.
Candy Kickass, the proud native of Denver, Colorado, now working her way around the track. And it looks like Buckhead Betty on the front talking to the refs. Now forming a wall, Pintapanga, Newcomb on the back, Romaniac going to the box. Here it comes.
Oh, whoa. Sorry to interrupt you there, but I just want to say that I'm glad Serving Justice is my friend.
Oh, no doubt.
She is judge, jury, and prosecutioner out there.
I like to call her Ms. Justice when I see her, just to make sure I don't get on her bad side.
Yeah, exactly.
That woman's way too fast on skates and hits too hard for me to make angry.
She's an amazing, amazing blocker.
Yeah, she has incredible skill. Definitely one of the all-star level mainstays of the Brew City Bruisers.
Actually a former jam skater. That's where those foot skills come from.
Mamie going to line up on the line, taking on Scooter. Cincinnati taking the high school senior portrait pose up front on the knee.
Yeah, I think they had the short people in the back, though.
I was always in the front. Mamie cutting it up.
Looks like Rejected Soul. Rejected Soul does. She does pull a penalty. Not sure what it was.
Ooh.
Oh, my. Scooter doing the tightrope. Looked like she was going to be able to stick with it. She wasn't able to. Right now, is that roughing the passer?
That's roughing the passer, hitting at the head. She's going to the box. Mamie in the box. Power jam, Brew City.
And kind of a shame because roughing the passer really doing a nice job on her. Unfortunately, goes just a little too high with that last shot. Scooter going to get knocked out of bounds. She's going to come back in before Barracuda can get back far enough to really make it any inconvenience.
Yep.
And we've got a minor track call on Scooter right now.
Hannah comes down.
Oh!
Nice shot there by Hannah.
Stop, drop, and roll for Scooter.
The invisible fire is all over.
That's right. That's those alcohol-based fuels. You never see the flames.
That's right, white hot. And right now, the jamming of Scooter is white hot as she goes around the track collecting more points for her team.
And I think Scooter right now, kind of knowing that we're down to about 42 seconds and just trying to ride this thing out to halftime.
Mamie now back in. Hannah Ochocinco now going to the box.
And she'll call it off with under 30 seconds left.
77-29 is your score. Brew City up big here in this one.
And we want to give a shout out to Nuvo. Nuvo's Indies Alternative Voice is a proud sponsor of the Naptown Roller Girls.
Checking it out right now. We're getting ready to go to half here in this one. This is going to be the final jam of the half. And actually, we're not going to get to that. Dr. Vroom says, you know what? No jam.
Yeah. You know what? Everybody get some water. Take a break.
Take a break. Well, Bob Knox just so far in this one, checking out that scoreboard, 29-77. Brew City, a commanding lead. Your thoughts on this game so far?
Well, it's definitely been I think attrition by penalties for Cincinnati again. But it has been a brutal. I mean, inside that pack, it's been like being stuck in a blender. Hit that thing on puree, and they're knocking around pretty hard.
Yeah, people are collecting bruises in this game like merit badges right now. And it's been a pretty good back and forth battle. But yeah, Cincinnati coming up on the short end of the stick with the penalties. They are just constantly in the box. I cannot prove the rumor that they are giving away a free Sun King in that penalty box, but they might be as often as Cincy is over there.
If it was, we'd be calling from there.
Yeah, I'm going to go over and just get my microphone right there in that box with that free Sun King. That'd be pretty awesome. And right now we're looking at a game where it's 29-77. Brew City up in this one.
And you know what? Tell them how to get a hold of us, man.
You want to talk to us? Do talk to WFTDA. That's the hashtag. That's what you got to do. TALK #2 WFTDA. I got my droid out right now. I'm checking the interwebs, seeing what people are saying. All sorts of stuff going on.
That's right. I mean, what do you think about me becoming your announcer? No, maybe don't respond to that. I'm very sensitive.
Bob is sensitive. People like Dr. Carter saying yay for dump truck. Well, that's something we can all get behind. And Sashalin saying, congrats to Ohio with the win over Mad Rowan. Unofficial final score of 138-118.
Yeah, and that is a great story, actually.
Alligator getting retreated. Shout out to Chop Susie, who's retiring. This is her last game with the Dairyland Doll. Hearts and moves. So let us know what you're thinking out there as we get in the second half. Carrie Hacksaw in the gold and the red, taking on Kay Lethal in the black and the white.
And Carrie Hacksaw, one more time from the outside. She's got that nice lateral step to the inside. And Shoveler points that magic finger, which means he's either very impolite or a jam ref.
I'm going to go with jam ref on this one.
So she's going to be your lead jammer. And I tell you, Kay Lethal, for as explosive as she was yesterday, Milwaukee has done a nice job against her.
Milwaukee has built a prison fence and a moat around her today in this game. She's not getting through what they're throwing down defensively. And even the 2-on-2 pack she can't get through. Newcomb trying to push it up on the front end right now. But Kara Bunga and Servant Justice have put together a nice defensive stronghold.
Yeah, they really have. That's a pairing that I don't know that we've seen all weekend long, but it's one that's worked really, really well. Romaniac, as we see there, is pivot, also part of that.
There's an empty penalty box right now. Bob, take a picture of it. It's not going to last long.
There we go.
And just as I say that, Carrie Hacksaw goes in. Power jam Cincinnati.
Yeah. Well, and Carrie will do that sometimes. She's very powerful. She's a blocker, and once in a while, when she needs to get somebody out of the way, when she jams, she puts a little too much into it. Right now, nice sit block. Kay Lethal, and then a shoulder, but she's going to get called on. That's Moby Nips.
Nips got to go hang out with her teammate in the box. And you saw right there how penalty cautious Kay Lethal was. She heard the whistle and sat there for a minute looking at the jam ref to make sure the penalty was not on her.
Yeah, Kay Lethal, tremendous jammer, but one that has the tendency at times to spend a lot of time in the penalty box.
Yeah, but I think that was a smart move on her part to kind of sit there for a minute and evaluate the situation, to make sure not to jump up, run off, and then be like, oh, no, it's a major back block on you or something of that nature, and then she's going to the box.
No,
she wanted to take the second, see what was going on, found out what the call was, and then we took off with it. 33-83 right now, 50-point spread, and Pentapanga dancing again. Buckhead Betty now getting in on that. And now Wheezy tap dancing.
Which is not easy on roller skates. And that almost looked like a grand opening to Wheezy's tap dancing routine as Cincinnati stays down, Wheezy goes through the middle of them.
Somewhere Sammy Davis Jr. is smiling at Wheezy's tap dancing. And right now she comes back through. Buckhead Betty going to be the first to meet and greet. Now she goes up outside, stays up on that wheel. Look at that. Wheezy shifted all her weight to that outside leg, kept it up, absorbed the hit, and got right through. Beautiful execution.
Such a difficult thing to do. Carrie Hacksaw back out on the track. She's actually laughing as she came out of the second turn and just lost her footing for a moment. Almost looked like she was swimming across the floor.
3-2 in the pack. Rejected Soul throwing that arm out there, trying to do everything in her body to keep Wheezy from getting by.
I tell you, Tank, one thing, I'm not sure if you're picking up on this at home or not, but the one thing that has been terrific all weekend has been the crowd. Naptown has really pulled a decent crowd. At night, we've had pretty full pack.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, at nighttime, Naptown's playing. They got the fans coming in here. It's really nice to see, and they know the game. That's the big thing.
Yeah, definitely.
The airbase cheering at the right moments. It's very exciting and invigorating. Candy Kickass in there now, going against Zote. Candy outside, dodging it, weaving in, out.
And, Zote's going to get called on a major cut track.
They're going to call Candy Kickass on a track cut. They both sit down, then they're both going to get up right about.
I don't think Candy realizes that she's got somebody sitting next to her. Hi, Candy. My name's Zote.
Hi, I'm wearing a star. You're wearing a star. You came here first. You need to leave now.
Yeah. I'd really like to talk, but you should get up and skate.
Or you could just stay, because that way you're not scoring points.
That's true.
Candy Kickass serving justice. Candy around. That's going to be points. Neither one of these two jammers are going to have lead jam. This is going to go the full two. Kitten Kicker now going to the box. Umpire strike back, says the pack is here. Now we're all together.
And it's a good, cozy feeling. And Candy Kickass, she's going to get up to that front three wall that has been so effective. Roughing the passer, though, trying to get in the middle of that and break it up.
Moby knocks, Heidi Voltage are taking her out. Now Candy in the back of the pack, meeting up there with Betty Clobber.
Oh! Romaniac looking to communicate to one of her other blockers. Takes one a little bit blindside. Didn't knock her over, but certainly took her by surprise.
That's what Newcomb loves to do, man. If you're not looking, Newcomb's hitting you.
got to have that quarterback sense to you to dodge that.
That's right.
And right now, yep, June with the Cleaver's going to have to let her go. Nice trap. They're going to pull his 20 feet outside the zone of engagement.
Candy Kickass trying to get to the front. Romaniac and Nukem trading yet again. And the jam's going to come to an end. Whew. A little exhausting right
I
there.
know.
Well, what do we got sponsor-wise? Are any of them got like energy drinks for us or anything like that?
Yeah, I know. You and I, who would be looking for something like that, unfortunately not, but we've got so many other great people. First off, sitting next to Tank, the guy who told me that if anybody needs to take a vacation, Bob, it's you. I still haven't done that yet. I think I need to check into Union Vacations.
Well, the MVP of this is going to be going to Mexico.
That's right.
Bob, you should go to Mexico. That would be an adventure. And right now, the adventure is Striker lead jammer.
Yeah, Striker again. Really kind of an unlikely jamming hero for Brew City all weekend long.
Barracuda swimming upstream to the box right now. And Striker through and getting the 5. And yeah, man, I'm not really familiar with Striker jamming, but she is making it look good in this game.
Yeah, she is, and she's been used this way all weekend long. And again, I think it's because their jammer rotation is a little short. That's why you see Carrie Hacksaw out there quite as often as you have. But Striker has filled in just remarkably.
Got some updates during the half out here. I was talking to John Madden. He was getting some information from Mama and Papa Doc Vendetta.
Wait a second. Who'd you get it from?
Maddening.
Well, can we count on the accuracy?
He's like a broken clock. He's right at least twice a day.
Okay.
So, anyways, what's going on with that is he talked to him and he told me that Skater Kenny is awake, alive, and well, but she's not going to come back in for the second half of this game. She got her bell rung, and for safety reasons, they're wanting to keep her off skates.
Yeah, and that only makes sense. If it turns out to be a concussion, that's not something to mess with.
No doubt.
And Shoveler is going to point at Carrie Hacksaw once again. Might be because he's a fan. He should be. But I think it's more or less because she's the lead jammer.
Hannah Alchocinco tried to slide through that wall up front. Did not have any success with that. And now Brew City again through. And that's going to be 5.
And I'll tell you, Tank, the biggest difference between Brew City this morning and the last couple of days has been consistency. They've had that defense working at times, but they've not been able to maintain it. Today we have seen that three-wall defense work very, very, very well up front.
Right, Hannah Alchocinco just bulldozing her way through that wall to get out, but damage has been done as Carrie Hacksaw. She's orbiting this track like Sputnik right now,
Yeah.
just going around and around
That's
and
right.
around.
We just don't expect any disintegration in the re-entry or anything like that.
No, I'm pretty sure you can drop Carrie Hacksaw from space, and she's durable enough to not burn up on the way down. She's extra double tough.
Roughing the Passer is actually the name of a skater.
Not only is Roughing the Passer the name of a skater, also it's because the girl loves football. That's what Ruffin's super into. Huge Browns backer from Dayton, Ohio.
So there you go.
There you go.
Not only do we know our football, we know our roller derby.
And why are we talking about this? Because people are talking to us at talktowftda.com, and they're throwing stuff at us on Twitter. So if you got questions like that, and you're like, what are you guys rambling on about? Ask us. We'll explain.
Yeah, there's no football game out there. What's going on? That's actually printed on the back of her jersey. And as long as we were talking about concussions, let's talk about Protect Dent, who is one of our sponsors. They make professional, high-quality mouth guards. And, of course, those made people so many times thinking that they need them to protect their teeth, their jaw, but the main reason is to protect the gray matter in your skull.
That's right. When your head gets snapped and you start, you're used as a shock absorber so that your teeth aren't smacking together and so that the brain can move. You don't want the brain hitting off the side of the head. That's what's going to cause knockouts and possible concussions.
Yep, that's right. And as a football reference, you can ask Troy Aikman.
That's true. That guy's brain is jello. And let's look here. Wheezy going to be on the line going up against Scooter. And Zote going to be taking her 4th minor.
That would be an intentional 4th minor.
That's definitely an intentional 4th minor. And we were on a knee, now we're off a knee, now we're back to a knee.
It's a little bit of the hokey pokey mixed with the chicken dance. But no matter how you look at it, Wheezy comes out ahead. Wheezy going to be your lead jammer. Scooter going to be through the pack at this point. However, she's a good half a track behind. Want to remind you that Milwaukee wearing the gold and red. Cincinnati Roller Girls, the black sheep in the black and white. Oh, Scooter with a nice little move there. And even though she goes out of bounds, well, I thought she came back in the right spot. Apparently not. And she's going to get called on a major track cut.
That's right. And Wheezy right now, Wheezy just getting hit by a lot of people wearing gold. And Rejected Soul hitter went out, but then came back in. Wheezy going to go with Discretion being the better part of Valor. Now waiting to come back in. Now coming back in behind Rejected Soul. Now going around her. And that's going to be points.
But nice move by Wheezy, and a lot of tenacity to keep that kind of thing going. I mean, Tank, you and I, we've both seen and respect jammers who are able to do that. Sometimes you get some very talented people who, once they are stuck, just stand there and wait for something to happen, and that something never comes.
Body whip off of Mamie, and that drug her down, and that created a no pack situation there. Nukem now up, Nukem in, Nukem hitting people. Zote says, what did I do?
And Wheezy, in the meantime, looks like she's off for a Sunday drive. Little stroll. And she's going to call that off the minute that Bruce City's jammer comes back out on the track.
And Bruce City is hemorrhaging players right now. This is bad right here for Bruce City.
Well, and this goes back to a little bit of what we talked about before. Consistency is probably Bruce City's biggest enemy. Well, and, putting 3 people on the bench at a time doesn't help.
No, that does not help either.
Swing Wreck out there right now.
Cincinnati talking this one over right here, looking at our scoreboard, 53 to 110, just under 20 on the clock. Cincinnati could come back, but if they're going to come back, the time to start is now. I mean, if this was a Disney movie, you get the montage going, a little bit inspirational music,
and Tinkerbell.
Always
got to have Tinkerbell.
Yeah, definitely. So if that's what they're going to get going here, Bruce City looking to do just the exact opposite. They want to stay the course, keep doing what they're doing, and try to get out of here with a W.
Yeah, obviously, we won't lie. It's part of our job to keep the game interesting, to try to keep it competitive in the way it's described. But this truly is that gap where, should they be able to start to close it up, they have enough time to pull this thing off. Last year we saw Milwaukee in 3 jams erase a 41-point deficit. This is doable. If it gets to be about 30 more points, then we're talking a little different story.
And it's all about the penalty box right now. Bruce City's got 2 in there. Cincinnati's got 1. Whoever puts less people in there is going to be the team that gets the victory. Hey, speaking of victory, let's talk about sponsors.
That's right, because you always win when people support our tournaments. And let's give another shout out to Dr. Hauschka, the WFTDA's official bruise healer. Lose the bruise with Dr. Hauschka's Ouch Aid.
In this official timeout brought to you by Adam Wheels, the official wheels of the WFTDA.
I own a set of Adam Wheels. I love them.
Nice. Very cool. What else we got on this here sheet right here while we try to settle everything out? Shout out to Rydell, proud partner and the official skate of the WFTDA. They're always a good sponsor to be talking about.
And they've been with us forever.
Forever and a day.
An interesting shot that we caught on camera there. And that was Murderer with a red helmet with a nice high dad on it.
Yeah, Murderer's dad is a truck driver who actually watches all the Cincinnati Roller Girls home games via Wi-Fi in his truck.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah. So,
Well, then we got to give a shout out to him.
yeah, he's a great guy. And right now, it looks like looking at the Cincinnati bench, everybody's doing, what is this right here?
Head and shoulders, knees and toes. My God, it is.
If they bust out the Macarena, I'm throwing down the headset and joining them.
Well, I know if the music stops and they don't have a chair, they're done.
Yeah, that's true. And we're still talking everything over out there in Roughland.
Oh, my goodness. I've actually referred to that before when you have an official timeout and they're always tapping their shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
That'll break into that, but I've actually never seen that happen before.
Sometimes I like to think that what they're talking about is like one guy's like, what if we just wore horizontal stripes just for one game? And everybody else is like, no. And then
Makes
like,
you look heavier.
yeah, and then like one of the outside paragraphs is like, no, he might have a point, and then it's like just pure anarchy.
Yeah. Sometimes I wonder if it's not trading lunches.
That could be it.
You know, I got bologna today. What do you have? I'm really looking for some hard salami.
Yep, and that could be what's happening right now. All right, Murderer getting the talk to. Look like they're pushing her back towards the bench. Hannah Ochocinco on the line. Roller derby might happen eventually.
Do you have cheese on that? Provolone or American?
Let's look what else we got here. Five Stride Skate Shop, the preferred shop of Bonnie Thunder's Deranged, Psycho Babble, Susie Hot Rod, and Teflon Donna. Five Stride Skate Shop. All those people really good at skating in circles.
Yeah, and turning left while they do it.
Yeah, excellent top-level players, man. You want to take that game next level, go see Five Stride Skate Shop.
And, of course, we also want to give a big shout-out to a friend of the entire Derby community, and that would be Jules Doyle Photography. Jules, who you may know as Axel Adams, photographer from the Seattle area, has just put together a coffee table book called No Mercy, and it is fabulous. I've actually picked up my own copy. I actually had him autograph it, and I did question him as to why the one photo he's ever taken of me, which is of my backside, never made the book, but we're hoping on the second edition.
Fair enough. Pick up that book, man. I'll tell you what, books, it makes you look classy and intelligent when you have them in your house.
And you know what? The great thing about these books is they look, first off, seriously, the quality of this book is fabulous.
Yeah.
Absolutely fabulous. And for those of you who really don't care to read, there's really not a lot you have to read.
And I'm a big fan of not reading.
Yes.
Wait. Pick it up, man. It's an awesome book, and that guy is an incredible photographer. Jules Doyle doing some amazing things with the camera. Go out there and pick up his book.
Not to mention that he's just really a cool guy.
He is a cool guy.
And, of course, Vanilla Skates here. I want to give a thanks to them. They've been supporting Roller Derby. They've been supporting Roller Derby now for 2 or 3 years.
Trying to read right here what we got right here coming in.
That's just in.
All right. Reverend Black 43, Initial Destruction, Pack, Major Destruction, and in the box. Manning, your shorthand is awful.
And I think that is shorthand because I wouldn't know how to read shorthand.
Manning, I just got done plugging the book saying I'm not good at reading.
Yeah. You know, part of it is if you're going to write to us, use English.
Yeah.
That would be the preferred choice. I'm not bilingual.
He's talking in some...
I'm not proud of it,
No.
but I can't read that.
No.
Do you write prescriptions for people?
There's people with skates and helmets on track. Roller derby could happen any moment now.
It could break out. We're thinking there's a possibility. Even the crowd starting to dance, hold up signs. So it has all the makings of busting out into a roller derby bout at any moment.
We have all the needed ingredients.
That's right.
All right, what else can we talk about here? Who else we got?
Well, of course, we want to give a shout out to Skate Court. The Skate Court, I want to say hi to Randy Mayhem as we were skating at Skate Court today, and certainly our preferred surface. We want to say thanks to Derby Skins because they make your hiney shiny. And I know that Tank has about 24 different pair that he's offered to model for us. before long.
I'm wearing the tiger stripes right now.
Oh, man, that rocks.
Well, here's the official review. Manning now giving us the full story here.
Oh, I doubt that.
Excellent grammar, sir. Official review, Wheezy, intentional destruction of the pack. The refs agree. Wheezy is in the box for that. So number 43, Wheezy with the star on her hat is in the box. Mamie in the box. Candy Kickass in the box. Brew City's in the box.
And you know what? It's a good thing we got that sorted out in 20 minutes.
That's right. So, one jammer for Brew City, micro pack, 2-on-2. Roller derby has happened again. Roughing the passer, not a football reference, and Buckhead Betty up on the front. Here we go. It's happening.
And Carrie A. Hexa going to come around the outside. Buckhead Betty going to shut that door in a hurry. And I think Carrie this time going to try to see if she can get a little help from her friends, but they're spilling all over the floor. And she takes up Buckhead Betty, and again, with that amazing counter block she has, she takes a big blow for Buckhead Betty, and she's going to be your lead jammer, Tank.
Watch Buckhead Betty and Servant Justice. This is going to get fun right here.
Yes, it is.
As these two trading back and forth a little bit right now. Now Ruffin and Buckhead had re-engaged, so they're on the front of the pack. Carrie going to roll up on it. Brew City going to surge forward with her. Big push right there from Servant Justice and right to the middle.
Oh, my goodness. Excuse me while I open the door to take a little peek, and she's through it.
I'm going to ask Servant Justice if she wants to join my bocce ball team because that was perfect right there.
Exactly. Yes, you're right. The little push was timed exactly right.
Beautiful assist work right there. You don't see enough offensive assist in roller derby anymore.
And all of a sudden, it's like a bull run off the bench, or out of the
penalty
box. Yep.
Everybody's in right now except for two, one from each team. So 3-on-3 in the pack. Jammer's back. Wheezy inside stays on the skates and in.
And Buckhead Betty again trying to make some room for her own jammer, but it's going to let Carrie through as the inside is being held for now. Milwaukee pivot in there, rejected soul, trying to wedge that open, unable to, and in the meantime, Wheezy's through and gone. But guess who calls off the jam?
That's right. Man, I'll tell you what, I've been so impressed by Buckhead Betty this weekend and what she's doing. Like, when Buckhead's motivated, she's playing a tough game, it's really showing. And what she's doing is not rocket science or anything. I mean, she's holding inside line, and she's controlling the inside line. And when you do that, you take away a major advantage for the other team.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, Tank. I think when it comes to pack play, she's probably been my favorite player to watch all weekend long. And the thing is, she's got that terrific awareness because she'll shut the inside line, and when she feels them going to the outside, she's going to shuffle along with it, and she makes it very difficult for people to get by.
Yeah, her sense is equal to like Peter Parker's spider sense, the way that she can just sense things around her. And right now, Scooter not sensing it because she's actually doing it. She's lead jammer.
Yeah, Scooter got through that with very, very little opposition. And right now it's going to be Kay Lethal, where the defense going to run her outside. She re-enters on the back of the pack as Scooter's trying to get through there, Tank.
Yeah, Moby Nips just harpooned her one more time right there. And now she's going to be going to the box.
Yeah. So once again, we've got Scooter out in front. She's already put 5 up.
Kay trying to work her way through the wall, getting bumped around right now. Brew City has done such a good job of staying low in this game and just being able to control. The low woman's going to win, and that's what they're doing here.
That's a great observation. You're exactly right.
It's like I've been watching the sport and talking about it for a number of years now.
Yeah, but, sometimes it's those little techniques and nuances that are easy to overlook for the girls and even for us at times. But, yeah, the blockers are skating knees bent low.
Yep.
And obviously that's where everything comes from your core, your balance, your strength. And
I think sometimes, Bob, to go on this, we talked about we're impressed by Buckhead with holding the inside line, very impressed by the low center of gravity by Brew City. People get so caught up in strategy and all these newfangled things that you got to do with how you want to move and do walls and stuff that sometimes they forget the basics, and the basics are what's going to win you games.
Exactly. I couldn't agree with you any more on that.
I mean, you can
everything else comes and goes.
Yeah. And it has and it continue to. You have fast game, slow game, stopper, people on lines, all this kind of different stuff. staying low and controlling the inside line, lead jammer and penalties, those things are never going to go away. That's what the game's based around.
To me, this entire weekend, I've been asking people, where's the sit blocking? You know?
Yeah.
Last year it was back. It was there. We've seen very little sit blocking all weekend. Probably the most effective way to stop a jammer. Oh, Mamie, going to come right around the outside. They got set up, and I think Milwaukee was so busy dealing with the pack of Cincinnati, they had no idea that they had just been forced to the inside to let her through.
3-3 it is right now. Mamie, the only jammer out there for either of these teams on the power jam. Hannah Ochocinco inserting herself into the wall, into Romaniac. Mamie looking for something. Now Candy Kickass getting up into the wall, trying to peel off Moby Nips. Can't get it done, and there's a hit on Mamie. No point, no pass called on the back end. Mamie gets tagged, comes back in, and is around Carabunga.
And Moby Nips picked up a major. She's going to end up sitting down right now. The Brew City Bruiser penalty box is filled, but only for a few moments.
62 to 126. Mamie's got a nice little run going here.
Yes, she does.
Finds it open. Murder her.
Oh, my. Talk about opening the door. Dad'd be very proud of that one, that's for sure.
Wow. Murder her, open that thing up with the subtlety of using a machete to open a can of Chef Boyardee.
That was pretty much the FBI with the big old iron rod there, going to slam the door open.
I remember that happened at my uncle's house. Looking right now, Stryker going to be on the line against Wheezy. The Black Sheep in the black, the Brew City Bruisers in their traditional gold and red.
And a slow start, but not stroller derby by any means.
No, sir. Here we go. Wheezy outside. Wheezy's got the step. Got one to beat. Rejected Soul. She does so. Buckhead comes up. Buckhead can't get the angle, though, and Stryker's going to come through.
And Wheezy's going to be your lead jammer. Stryker certainly within striking distance. And Wheezy's going to have to call off the jam. And with that being said, let's say thanks to a couple other people. First off, we want to say thank you to Spenlin Media. And if you have been on the WFTDA website, you have a chance to see the great work that they do. We also want to say thank you to PDA. And, of course, we want to say thank you to TICSkateGear.com.
This jam brought to you by Adam Wheels, the official wheel of the WFTDA. And here we go, Barracuda rocking the star. I haven't seen this in a dog's age. She's going up against Carrie Hacksaw.
That could actually be a pretty interesting matchup.
And Cuda going to the box. Cut, gotta go.
Yeah. That was an interesting matchup for about 20 feet, unfortunately.
I got real excited there, and then all of a sudden
it's
like you got to go sit down now because you did something wrong.
For Tank and I, that was salad days right there.
That's right. Carrie Hacksaw coming around on the power jam. Up to Candy Kickass. Candy's got her K Lethal in. Whoa, June with the Cleaver going down. K Lethal versus Serving Justice on the front.
Yeah, June Cleaver going down backwards almost with a baseball slide. Lucky she didn't end up sweeping the feet out from somebody. But the shoveler, who has spent an awful lot of time following Carrie Hacksaw around this track.
Carrie, K Lethal, K gets her, does not get her. Carrie stays up. Great inside line balance.
And once again, you know, this would be her part-time job in Derby, jamming. Yeah, inside the pack, she's even more brutal.
She's looking middle right now, gets cut off there. K Lethal's got her, since they got a little Congo line going, now they split it back into the 3-wall.
It could have broken it into the locomotion. Don't think the music was quite right.
I saved that for weddings.
Absolutely, as I would too. And of course, we also want to say thanks to Roller Girl Skates. Trigger is not here in the crowd, but you can certainly visit Roller Girl Skates at rollergirlskates.com.
And Scooter on the line. I'm going to be taking on Shoveler. Move for a second. I got to see the jammer.
Yeah, I know. I wish it was like a video game where you just had a little controller. We could move some of these people around.
I was thinking like one of those big claws from a claw machine.
Yeah.
And there we go. Newcomb's gone, and she is jamming right now for Cincinnati. That's who was hidden behind there. And whoa, takes a hit.
Oh, my. Was that delivered by the jammer? Was that Scooter?
That was jammer on jammer violence, my friend.
Wow. You can't even get that on satellite television.
You cannot. And here we are. Pitapanga on the inside. Going to have to let it go. Lead jammer, Brew City. Newcomb, though. I think we might see some return on this.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that was a little tit for tat there. So why get a little edgy about it? You know, it was you dealt out the first one, you took the second one. Let's all have some fun.
You know, that was definitely not a political debate right there, where there was a thought out, well, concise argument. That was more Newcomb saying, "Bok, bok, 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 bok." You called it off, and then that was Brew City going, "Yeah, look at the score. Who's got the higher point
scoreboard,
total."
baby.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yep. And as we had talked about, that point of no return, great Kansas album, by the way. We are probably looking at that scenario right now for Cincinnati at 136-67 with 8:36 remaining.
Bob, I just want to say as your friend that if you ever stop talking on the mic, I'm not going to make the chicken wing dance at you.
All right.
I like you too much. You're too good of a friend.
All right. Fair enough, my friend.
Wheezy on the line, Zote behind her. And Wheezy out front. Zote trapped behind a wall. Oh, black. Steps to the outside. That's going to be cut, and that's going to be power jam.
And I tell you, Wheezy's had a nice little run here the second half of the second half.
Yeah, Wheezy is starting to. Oh, Buckhead clears it out, but right there, she kicked her right in front of Wheezy. Candy Kickass and Moby Nips getting caught up. Wheezy trying to stay up. Serving Justice now coming up. And here we go again. Big Wall O Gold up front, Bob Noxious.
Yeah. Right now you're taking a look at Moby Nips as well as Serving Justice. That is a 2-wall. That could be a 3-wall.
And now it's a jailbreak right now as people coming back in from the box. Now Serving Justice going to the box. Yep. Wheezy in there. Hannah Ocho Cinco in there. Wheezy gets bumped out, steps back, and comes in behind number 216, Frank Herter.
And Moby Nips, lone blocker out at the front. And with a little juke and jive, little shake and bake, Wheezy's going to go right by there.
Hannah Ochocinco tugging on the jersey of Buckhead Bay to back her up right now. And you can see the goal wall up front. Hannah comes in, tries to bust it open. Wheezy now studying this thing.
And here we go with the jammer out of the box syndrome. And Zote right through there, of course, nobody having any idea she's coming. And I tell you, she found a hole right down the middle.
She did.
And she was through that in a hurry.
Mamie coming onto the line right now for Cincinnati.
And look at this. It's going to be number 0, Bloody Cupcake.
This jam brought to you by Dr. Hauschka. Stop by the Dr. Hauschka booth and check out their amazing bruise healing and skincare products, Dr. Hauschka. All right, Bloody Cupcake on the line, taking on Mamie. Whistles blown, and we got a little dance party going again.
Well, anytime there's a Bloody Cupcake, there must be a dance party.
I'll agree. Okay, I'll agree. Mamie now trying to go around Bloody Cupcake, stopping her. Pitapanga right there.
Oh, look at that Bloody Cupcake. And I tell you right there, Tank, we saw nothing but tenacity from that jammer to get through that pack.
I agree with you 100%, sir. Bloody Cupcake doing what she needs to do to get through and making it look good in the process. Serving Justice now come back on the back of the pack with the subtlety of a battering ram going into the front door of a castle.
Oh, and Mamie's going to get taken down. She's going to get wrapped up with M. Fatale, a name we have not called too often today.
Candy Kickass went for a check, went down and it hit the small of her back and also had her head bounce off the floor.
Ouch.
Ouch.
Yeah, I tell you, you and I have watched this for a long time, and you never stop losing respect for every girl that goes out there and skates, because it's just, as fun as it is for us to watch and talk about, you'd never get me out there to do this.
Oh, no way. I have trouble staying on balance on 2 feet, let alone you throw 8 wheels underneath it.
Exactly.
What these women can do on skates is just amazing to me.
And we only know it. We only know that it becomes more amazing every year. Oh, and there, Bloody Cupcake going to take a cut to the inside, but she is going to draw a major black block, and that's going to be against number 32, Candy Kickass.
Yep. Candy was able to draw the foul right there, and now she's up with Murder Her, and Jam comes to an end.
And we are at the tail end of the second period. Brew City Bruisers 149-75 for the Cincinnati Roller Girls Black Sheep. And we want to say thank you to Sin City Roller Skates. Sin City Skates, of course. Sin City Skates. If you're going to buy skates from a skater. Sin City, another sponsor that has been with us forever.
Long, long time. 3-on-3 in the pack. Cincinnati with the only jammer out there. That jammer's name is Hannah Ocho Cinco.
Probably my favorite name change ever. Oh, and look at that. Heidi Voltage going to turn around. We haven't seen much of Heidi Voltage today.
Yeah.
But opening up that front part of your body to block somebody's not really a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, she tried to hold on to that thing to the bitter end, but she took a shot right there from Hannah in the process. But Heidi back into it, though. Now Heidi getting cleared out by Ruffin the passer. Now, but she's back to inside line. Heidi Voltage doing a lot of big things in this jam.
Yeah, she really is. She rebounded from that fall pretty quickly, got herself back up front, and they're able to move her out of the way, and Wheezy's going to get through, or I'm sorry, Hannah Ocho Cinco is going to get through there.
Heidi now going to the box, 4-on-2 in the pack. Whoa, Rejected Soul tried to hit the brakes.
Yep. She stepped right on the emergency brakes, my friend, and her feet came out from underneath her there for a moment.
No doubt. All right, Brew City has their jammer back in. She's trying to work her way through. Ruffin in front of her. Newcomb goes down inside line with a hop, gets bumped out. And now Brew City's jammer is through and ready to go on a scoring run.
I tell you, that was Betty Clobber doing a nice job of catching the jammer, running her out of bounds.
Rejected Soul is on the back right now. Going to be the first person Hannah Ocho Cinco is going to meet. Did she get the hips by? The referees say no, she did not.
And I tell you, Tank, we have seen, I think from both teams, we've seen, pretty much their star rotation play a lot of minutes today.
Yeah,
when we take a look at the roster, and once in a great while we talk about Heidi Voltage or somebody like that, some of these people we've only seen out there for maybe 2 or 3 jams. People like Buckhead Betty, Serving Justice, Carrie a Hacksaw, these people have been playing a better part of the game today. Obviously, both teams want to leave here with a W.
When you were talking earlier about Cincinnati State, you were talking about them being a team that's been with us for a while, and we talked a little bit about changing strategies. Looking over, and I see Romaniac and Serving Justice both wearing the belt. You remember when that trend was in fashion back in 08 when people were starting to wear belts for body whips and things like that? And that was a hot thing for a while?
I was talking about that yesterday as I looked out to the floor to see one team filled with belts, and I turned to the person next to me and said, "You won't see a single self-assist off of any of those." Yeah,
but that was the thing for so long. And right now we got coaches talking to coaches right now as Marty and Swing Wreck are talking things over. What do coaches talk about? Swing Wreck is a very animated man out there.
I don't know. He's just fun to watch.
Yeah.
And knowing Swing Wreck, he could be talking about anything.
Yeah. I would like to think when coaches get together and talk, it's things like, do you think they ever wash their pads? Is it some kind of deal where the girls have all made a pact that they're just never going to wash them?
Yeah, you have any? You know, we're not that far apart. You got any room in your bus? Because ours stinks, man.
Yeah. Well, coach talk done. Referee's talking over. Dr. Vroom says, all right, boys, go back to your benches. We got some roller derby to play.
And we're looking at the final 2 minutes, 17 seconds.
Carrie Hacksaw going to start the jam with the star on her helmet. Wheezy as well. And are we lining up on the pivot line for a jam?
We are.
The pack seems so far away.
I know.
It's like they're off in a distant land. Official timeout still in effect right here. Well, Bob, is there anybody that we didn't get plugs in for here? Who else we got to talk about?
Well, we go on and talk about one more time. We just want to thank Rydell for sponsoring and working with us on the entire Big Five. Of course, Rydell, somebody who's worked with us for a long time, proud partner and official skate of the WFTDA.
Serving Justice says make some noise and just raise the roof right there. I enjoy a good roof raising, I'll be honest with you, Bob.
Yes, there was the conversation out there was about destruction of the pack, and the contention was that our player hadn't destroyed the pack. She had fallen over. Destruction of the pack call stands.
A lot of destructions of the pack today. The pack's been destroyed more times than my first marriage. And Wheezy now going to try to work her way around. Carry a hacksaw through, and that's going to do it.
Yeah. That's going to put us down toward the end. That's a kind of a wild hit there toward the end.
Yeah.
A little surprised something wasn't assessed on that.
So more time ticking off the clock. Cincinnati could take a timeout here to try to preserve it. They're not. Buckhead Betty's got the Cincinnati crowd going as she's doing a little hopping and skipping on the sidelines there. Hannah Ochocinco in against Rejected Soul.
And I'll tell you, for only the second game of the morning, we've got a very active crowd in here. It's been a lot of fun.
I'll have what they're having.
Yeah.
Because, man, everybody is pumped this morning.
Yeah, they are.
Rejected Soul's got the lead. She's going to control when this thing ends. And Hannah Ochocinco tries to get through, gets caught up, steps through.
And Rejected Soul, potentially the first time she's jammed all weekend. Used to be a staple of the jamming corps for Brew City.
Rejected Soul continuing to work her way around there. Hannah Ochocinco holding her face there for a second. The down takes the hand away, getting hit to the outside. Newcomb goes for a hit, can't stop it. Number 14 right there. Striker all over Hannah Ochocinco.
Yeah, and this is really one of the few times we've talked about Striker from a blocking perspective. I'm assuming she cut the entire center of the track because I could have sworn she was in one direction and then suddenly headed toward the other.
That track cut was gigantic, man.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, like, there's cutting a track and
then there's crossing it to go back to the bench.
I mean, yeah, man, that was a big cut. And Newcomb was knocked right, and then Newcomb joined her in the box, and then they kind of chuckled and talked to each other about it. You know, good times. Whips. Hannah Ochocinco on the outside. Now in the middle of that big gold wall. Gets
nice
through.
Job, though. Nice job creating a little space on the inside. Too little, too late.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, still some good derby coming right down here to the final moments.
More penalties being assessed, more people going to the box. This one's just going to be, putting a little bit of a ointment on it because even though Cincinnati could draw closer, they're not getting the win here.
And to the credit of both teams, for as hard as they've been playing and as hard as they've been hitting, they've really, the sportsmanship has still been there throughout the entire thing.
No doubt. And Brew City's going to walk out of here the 7th spot. Cincinnati came in the 5th, is going to drop to the 8th to leave this thing. So, Bob, your thoughts as we close this one out?
Well, a lot of it comes down to, obviously, penalties. Cincinnati spent a lot of time in the penalty box. I think I think the defense of Milwaukee was just sharper today than Cincinnati's was, as well as Buckhead played. She didn't have as consistent a wing woman with her. That 2-wall up front for Milwaukee was just consistent.
Yeah, Milwaukee's walls were strong today. I haven't seen a wall get put together like that since the Chinese threw one up a few centuries back.
That's right.
They did a great job out there today.
And of course, we've got to, you have to finish this talking about Carrie A. Hacksaw. Hacksaw really put she put the jammer cap on and left it on almost the whole time. It seemed like a lot of points up on the board today.
Bob, do skaters normally take their shirts off like Mia Hamm when they go around to slap high fives in Milwaukee?
I have no idea, but it makes me that much happier to transfer.
It's a party.
Hey, John Madden here on Trackside, Peyton Slamming. We are joined by Rejected Soul here from the Brew City Bruisers. Came into this tournament 7th, going out 7th. How does that feel for you?
It feels good. I mean, obviously everybody would like to go up a little bit, but, staying even, that's not so bad. It's definitely better from last year.
Yeah, you started off with a win on Friday and lost to Detroit in a really, really tough game, then lost to the Outfit. So it must have been nice going home with at least a victory on Sunday.
Definitely. For my team, I think we really needed that to go home.
Now, you had a couple scary moments on Friday night, a couple shots to the neck, ended up in hospital, but you got checked out. You're okay?
I did get checked out. I am okay. It was nothing more than a flesh wound. So.
All right, well, thanks very much. Looks like your team wants you to go celebrate with them. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Congratulations.